My name's Jason Endries. I'm a solar performance engineer here at Carolina Solar Services. As a solar performance engineer, I do lots of things. Everything from putting together reports to calculating key performance indices for the solar sites. I also do a lot of monitoring of the solar sites to make sure they're performing as expected and performing as best as they can. My educational background is maybe not what you would expect. I actually studied meteorology at NC State, North Carolina State University. And then I went to Appalachian State University for my for my master's in geography. And I was able to meld those two and the practice I got with wrangling data in both of them for this position. Yeah, I actually didn't do any internships, but I did participate in research, both undergraduate research and in my my master's position. And yeah, there weren't internships in exactly what I'm doing right now, but I was wrangling data in both of those research positions. I was learning how to manipulate the data, how to analyze it, how to write scientifically and professionally. So yeah, I think all of that helped for what I'm doing now. I got to my current position, frankly, through just applying to a job posting, and throughout the years here, I've gotten more and more familiar with the job and with the skills required, and I've kind of just tuned the necessary skills that way. So yeah, it was me kind of going out on a limb again to begin with seeing, here's an opportunity at a solar company. I didn't have any background in solar at the time, but yeah, it was the preparation I did before that with my research positions that helped me get the job, and I've just kind of been learning along the way. Did I always want to do the type of work I'm doing now? And that's the answer to that is yes. I didn't know I was going to wind up in the solar industry, but I did always, or at least for a long time, have an inkling that I wanted to had an idea that I wanted to do something in the renewable energy space, because it kind of melds my passion for sustainability and my interest in weather, and also it's an industry that is just growing and will always be needed for the foreseeable future. Carolina Solar Services serves North Carolina, actually multiple states in this area, including North Carolina. And then also we have some sites that we manage on the West Coast in Oregon. So clients come to us and say, I have a solar site that I need maintained, either because there's something wrong with it or because the site's getting old. We even have new sites. And believe it or not, even though solar panels a lot of the times aren't moving on a solar site, there's still a lot of things that can go wrong with the solar site. And that's when we step in and either fix things that have gone wrong or make the solar site perform even better. Yeah, so Carolina Solar Services plays a very important role in the renewable energy sector. yeah, these giant fields of solar panels that we have under our management take the incoming sunlight and convert it to electrons, which then flow through a complicated system of wires and other pieces of equipment, and then eventually wind up at the electrical outlets in buildings in your house. So we help to make sure those electrons are being created efficiently and are also flowing to the power lines and to the buildings. Working in a job in clean energy, I feel is important because clean energy is especially important in the world we're living in now. We need to find ways to emit less carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. We need to find ways to be more sustainable, and having a job in the industry that helps support that goal and that mission, I think is just a good thing for both my conscience and the world. I've only been working for Carolina Solar for, well, it's almost been 7 years now, which I guess is a long time, but in the span of the energy sector, it's not very long, but even in those short 7 years, I've seen just more openness to solar. I've seen more investment in solar. It's kind of interesting because North Carolina was one of the first states in the US to really start installing lots of solar panels. And that's, I think it's slowed down in recent years, but looking at trends nationally, it's that slowed growth. It won't last long, especially with how inexpensive solar panels and solar installation is getting. Solar panels and solar sites that exist now and have been installed over the past decade will not be going anywhere. And because of that, we'll need more and more people to help maintain them. Not only will the old sites still be here, but sites that were in solar panels that we're installing now and in the future will also need maintaining. So yeah, the number of jobs, especially in the operations and maintenance sector of the industry, I believe will just keep growing as the years go by. I think some of my future career goals are just to keep growing my knowledge in the realm of solar and solar energy, and just to be more, I guess, become even more useful in the operations and maintenance realm. My advice for students trying to figure out what you want to do is to just be open and, like I did, go out on a limb, because you never know what experience and what knowledge those internships or those experiences that you're interested in when you're young might take you in the future.